Hey, Ian Eltzer, the Freedom Astrologer here, again with another video. This one is about astrology, but I will tie in some psychological aspects as well to this topic I want to discuss with you. And it's a lot to do with the patterns we have in our lives, the thoughts we have in our, let's say, minds, that again then translate into our lives. So for example, let's say in your life, in your career, most likely, most probably, you keep having this kind of similar problem. Let's say the problem or the situation constantly repeats, and whatever you do or whatever you seem to do, it keeps on coming back. You haven't kind of solved it, or you don't really understand it, why it keeps coming back, but you kind of understand it, that it's a similar, very similar pattern in your life. Now, a lot of these patterns are, or we can see from the natal chart, from the person's natal chart. And I just brought one more example here. But yep, you can see the mouse. And in this chart, you can see that there's those of you who know the symbols and stuff, you can see that Venus is in the sign of Scorpio here. And I use this example a lot because it's very potent example. It's very, very quite a difficult position, to handle in one's life. That's why I use it so much. And I think anything in Scorpio usually needs more work. But now let's not get too stuck in the Scorpio energy. I'm just bringing this in to illustrate that some of these can be or most of these can be seen from the natal chart. So Venus in Scorpio, one of these configurations is that the person has a very hard time of seeing their own true inner worth and what they're like deeply worth, but also what they're materially worth in the material realm. So once you have that deeper issue, it's harder to see your true worth in the material realm regardless. Now, a lot of these problems with this position usually still come from the childhood. So something happens in the childhood, either the parent, with the parents, or with the guardians, or with somebody close to them, and these psychological issues are born in those childhood moments. Now, we talked about worth, but if we're talking about Venus in Scorpio, it's again, it can be a lot to do with the relationships and jealousy issues and power dynamics in relationships. And these can now start to translate into your professional life with the worth issue. You're getting not paid enough in your career, or the jealousy part that I brought in as well in your relationship life. So these just, again, as life goes on, but still, similar issues still repeat, or similar situations with, somewhat similar people repeat, even when you make that kind of scenery change, and maybe you change the job, maybe you change the relationship, but still the problems come back. Now, a lot of this is deeply ingrained, so it's understandable that it takes time, to alleviate and to remedy and to heal. But one of the things that is really important for us to understand, that healing happens on many layers, and a lot of the times the first layer we as humans kind of turn to is the mind, intellectual layer. And nothing obviously wrong with that, but it's just one layer. So it's very, very important for us to understand that this is just one layer. So what happens is, let's say maybe you understand that you have this problem, you go see a therapist, you go see an astrologer, you go see a psychologist, whoever counselor you go see, or you seek help, maybe a life coach, whatever. And they make you understand these types of, your mind, the intricacies of your mind and the beliefs you have in your mind that make, sense and make those situations seem logical, because you have these beliefs, let's say you have this deep fear in relationships to lose the other one, which is actually deeply associated with the pain of losing love. Actually, on a deeper level, it's not about jealousy, it's not about the other person, it's about your deep fear of losing love. Now, intellectually, you might be in that space where you finally understand, oh my god, I got this, I finally, it does make sense, I can, move on and let's say clear and be in more healthier relationships. And at times, it takes that intellectual or the understanding with the mind takes away a lot of that issue in your life. So let's say now those situations might repeat, but they're not so maybe painful, they repeat less. There's a lot, there's a, let's say, a jump in consciousness or a jump in your understanding. This means life gets a little bit better. So good job, and but like the more deeper understanding, and that's the second part of this healing part, is emotional and feeling. So although you might clear your head, let's put it that way, some of those feelings and emotions are still stuck in your body, in your let's say being. We could go into those esoteric realms and say there's a bigger energy body there as well. But let's focus on for now. Let's focus on like I think one of my strongest realms is like the emotional body, and releasing and feeling things from that area. So this is a bit harder to do, I would say, than to understand things intellectually and make those adjustments in your mind and make adjustments in the way you think and what you believe about things. Although of course it can take that time as well. But why is it harder? The only reason why I say it's harder, because the fear of actually allowing yourself to feel these things and to allow these things to emerge is so great in love areas, but that it becomes easier to suppress it more. So instead of feeling it and releasing it, because in the end, these are only just feelings and emotions that you kind of suppressed from those childhood situations, and they've grown, and then they've gotten to a place of where you are an adult, and those unfelt feelings just continuously repeat until you're finally ready to kind of succumb to those sensations, succumb and let yourself feel those feelings and emotions. And once you're done that, the kind of healing circle, let's say, is almost complete. We can also, if we want to talk about the full circle, in my opinion, you need to put new experiences, new thoughts, new ideas, new beliefs into your consciousness, into your mind as well, to kind of make it totally complete, like a 3-parter, let's say, like a trilogy, healing trilogy. But let's keep the focus on the feeling part. So really hard to go into it, really, really difficult to feel and to release those. Obviously there are therapists around that you can, do this with. There are meditations you can do alone, and this is the I think one of the favorite things about this for me is, or the meditation part is, that this is what you can do alone, and does not require anybody else's input, anybody else's kind of help even. Although I do agree that sometimes having somebody there next to you and kind of guiding you can help you even more and help you release more, and kind of, especially if you are very afraid about going into these feelings and emotions, then it's especially good to have somebody there to kind of make it safer. And there isn't really anything super special you need to do. I've talked about this many times on my channel. It's just feeling. I've written many articles about this, but I'll give you just a brief. You can just go through my channel. You can look for videos. I think I've talked about this almost in every video, or most of them. But the how you deal with this feeling situation is just, take a break, take a 5-minute, breather, 15-30 minute breather where you are alone, where you have, kind of safety. Better to do it usually when you're in a safe space. But as you grow and feel, you can do it everywhere. I now can do it on planes, in difficult situations where people are, let's say in an airport. A lot of people kind of angry and pissed off at the airports usually. So you can do that there as well. It doesn't have to limit. But at first, it's easier to start doing it in a safe space. So what you do is you kind of focus on yourself. You just sit down. Music is okay. You don't have to use music. Sit and focus on yourself and let those situations arise. Let those feelings arise. Usually it's easier to do when you've just had a problematic situation where it has triggered you, because then the situation or the feeling sensation is so familiar and still it's kind of percolating in your body, and then you can go right into the feeling and emotion. And now what you do is you just focus on that feeling, that sensation in your body. You just feel it, kind of. You don't have to do anything. Don't have to drive it away. You don't have to fix it. You don't have to do anything. You just have to sit in it for approximately like 5 to 7, maybe 10 minutes. And once you do that, once you're able to do that and sit in that situation for a little while, what starts happening is that the sensations start to subside, and kind of new feelings, new emotions start to come in, and a lot of the times you can start seeing the situation or the feeling and what just happened more clearly. And a lot of the times, again, once you do it longer, once you sit it in, once you get in the groove, kind of, then it gets interesting, because now you're about to see moments in your past where this pattern kind of started. And once you do it more and more, let's say, you don't have to go crazy with it, but once you do it more and more, you'll start to see even situations from your childhood that kind of created this pattern, that created this feeling. And the more you are with that feeling, the more you sit with that feeling, the more it releases. And you kind of start to step full circle or achieve full circle of that healing, because now you achieved the intellectual understanding. You've cleared or felt your emotions and feelings, and you can step towards the last part, in my opinion, which is having new experiences, getting new experiences, taking action to get those new experiences. And also there are ways you can do, or what you can do to create, new thoughts, new beliefs in your mind. No, this is one of the parts, I don't know why the camera is out of focus. Boop, boop, beep, boop. Oh, there it is. So I don't. This is one of the big topics that I'm going to be teaching. I'm going to be teaching a webinar very soon on the 23rd of May, 2021, and you're going to see, or I'm going to teach you how to see these patterns. I'm going to show you how to what are some other things you can do with these patterns, and how these patterns are holding you back in your material life, in making in making good decisions in your life. Because we're calling this webinar, I'm doing it on my teachers, through my teacher's website, which is astrology.com. Check her stuff out. And I'm going to we named it, how to make the best deals and form the best partnerships. But before you can do that, in your life, you need to do a couple of things. You need to, get clear on what is stopping you in doing those things. And this is this is why I decided to bring this topic in. And this is one of the biggest parts of this webinar. We're also going to look at, specific timing techniques that are going to make it easier for you to make these deals once you've gotten clear on your internal life, internal pains and things that are stopping you. And also going to look at some difficulties people have in their charts that can make make those salary negotiations and deal making negotiations difficult to handle, and what you need to be aware of and what you need to be kind of clear about. And also in the end, I'm going to give you another tool that can complete the circle, and that can insert new beliefs, new thoughts, new ideas about yourself into your consciousness. And it's a very practical thing anybody can do in their own. You don't even have to be at home. You just need a kind of smartphone device that you can record on, and then you're good to go. So I hope you join me on this webinar on how to make good deals, or the best deals, and how to be good in negotiations situation, how to be good in salary negotiations, and how to know, actually this is one of the biggest parts of this, is how to ask for what you're really worth, and how to understand what you're really worth, and how to give a leg up with that astrology timing techniques as well. So remember this, to summarize this video. There are kind of 3 steps to healing. There's the intellectual understanding, intellectual shift, and seeing with the mind of what was stopping you, where did it happen, why are you doing the things, and why things are happening in your life as they are. It can be a huge aha moment. And the next part is healing the emotional body, is healing the feeling body. And this is, I would say, equally important. Both are very important. And then once you've done those, you start inserting new experiences, going out into the wide open world, gathering new experiences, and also inserting new beliefs into your mind and consciousness. So thanks again for watching this video. Hope you got a lot out of it, and hope to see you on the webinar. And if not that, then I will see you on some of the next videos on Ian Altsor, the Freedom Astrology channel. Thanks so much. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share the video. And if you have any kind of ideas and desires you want to hear from astrology, from psychology, and understanding consciousness, leave a comment in or below, and I will do my best to create a video on it. Thanks so much.